Hey guys, it's Vic. I have not posted in a while. I'm aware of that. It's just life happens sometimes. But I have wanted to share this story or this video for so long, a year and a half almost. It's something that has happened in my life, and I needed to make sure it was the right time to share on such a public platform like YouTube. I have not talked about it any other place besides just my private social medias for my friends and family. So this is a big step in my, I would say, closure, because tonight, out of all nights, I felt okay posting this, and I was planning on making a film video, but I decided tonight I was just going to do a voiceover. So bear with me, just listen to my voice, I guess. I also wanted to make sure that it was the right time because we had just finished trial for this case. I wanted to give my best friend her privacy, and then also her families, and I wanted to respect them. And out of all this time, I've gotten feedback, and I've made sure that everyone's comfortable, and it's just the best time to do it. So it will probably be all over the place. Just a warning. I mean, it's been a year and a half of the same thoughts and the same story. I've had to replay it over and over again. Since the day it happened, we have been answering questions, having meetings, just having very, like, you can't even focus on mourning because you have to fight. You have to, like, what's next, So during the trial, I was a witness. I was a character witness because I was Liz's best friend and I knew her best. I would say, other people would say, I knew her relationships. I got a lot of the backstories, and I was just able to kind of give Liz a voice that she no longer can have. The trial was very long. I was pretty much bullied by the defense attorney. I had to work with the prosecutor, detectives, just different staff of the court. I've told this story, my version, hundreds of times to different people, and I've talked in front of a jury. I've sobbed in front of a jury. And a judge. It was just a very long, it was like 8 or 9 days. Very long. Easily one of the hardest things I or any one of her loved ones have gone through. This is something that you cannot be prepared to deal with. No one tells you how to get past losing someone that meant everything to you and then just reliving it every day for years. My best friend, her name is Liz, and we met in 6th grade. We weren't the closest of friends, but we would hang out at the skating rink, and then I moved because I moved all the time when I was little, and we just kept each other on Facebook for all those years. When I just had my daughter, because as you know, I was pregnant at 16, had my daughter at 17. When I had just had her, I saw Liz posting on Facebook that she was pregnant. And of course, I congratulated her. And from that day on, we did not stop talking. That's how we reconnected. We really bonded on being teen moms together. I really tried to prepare her as much as I could for the breastfeeding and the sleepless nights. And we just talked all through the rest of her pregnancy. And 2 months after my daughter was born, her son was born, I waited all night for him to be born for the update. I was so excited, and at that point we weren't seeing each other in real life. We just texted all day long, but I was so excited, and little did I know that little boy would be a huge part of not only mine but my daughter's life, be her little bestie, or as Liz would say, her hubby. We always just joked around about them getting married. And then I didn't even know that Liz and I would have the best friendship or relationship, just the best connection that I ever had with anybody. I really think we deserved each other, and we were brought together by being teen moms, but I really think that was just a way of bringing us together to be who we both deserved, if that makes sense. We really leaned on each other through those years. She was in a relationship with the father of her son, and it was very rocky, you could say. I was there for every fight, every little thing. She would always talk to me about it, and all I could really just do is just be there for her, because it was a very sad, hard position to be in, because being a best friend to someone that's being abused is, you're helpless, because you can't just tell someone to leave, because if you do that, they're no longer going to trust you. And I wanted her to trust me. I wanted her to feel okay to tell somebody. And if that somebody was me, I would be thankful. I was just telling her all the time that I loved her and that I'm there for her. And I thought maybe one day she would leave. Maybe she'd be ready. So we began hanging out after the kids were about 6 months. And from that point on, we were best friends. There was no stopping us. We were constantly talking. If we weren't together, we were texting. If we weren't texting, we were calling or sending videos, just never not in contact. And if we had to do something, we'd be like, oh, hey, I'm going to be at work for this time. And then we would text each other in between. You know, we were just always updating each other. And it was just nice. We constantly, any thought that we had, we could just tell each other with no judgment. It was like we were each other's other half. If you know what it feels like to have a person that just is like right for you, that's what it was. It's so hard to explain. So in November of 2017, I had gotten a message / call / voice message. She was just blowing up my phone when I was working, and she had told me that Joseph had strangled her, that he had strangled her, and that she had to hit the panic button on her car keys for him to let go of her and for her and her son to leave the apartment. And that was easily one of the scariest times in my life. Again, just feeling so helpless. I automatically said, do you need me to go to the hospital with you? Because that's where she was headed. She said, I think I'll be okay. I'll let you know. And that was that. She filed a police report. She filed a restraining order. And she was finally done with him. Like, I have been through this. You know, this isn't the first time things got physical in their relationship, but this was definitely the worst. And this was the time that she decided she was done. I was so proud of her and so heartbroken for her, because, you know, she didn't want it to be like this. She wanted her son to have a family. She wanted her son to have both parents. And she didn't want to be a single mom, but she knew that it was the best decision to keep her and her baby boy safe. So, and then Joseph went missing. He was nowhere to be found. The police couldn't serve him his restraining order because his family was hiding him out. And later on, their restraining order, whatever charges, got turned into custody. And they worked out a custody agreement to have their son dropped off at a mutual location, pretty much with supervisors, therapists to supervise the drop-offs. So pretty much Liz would drop off her son, and then there would be someone there at all times, so they were never left alone. Well, that terrified Liz. She had not even left Jay with me at that point. It was only her mom, Joseph, and herself that had watched him. So there was no way that even a licensed therapist was just going to watch him. And just dropping him off that one time made her so uncomfortable that she needed to work out something else in their custody plan. So with the help of Joseph's attorney that he had paid for, at that point she had not been working enough to pay for her own attorney and was working on getting one from the state, so she didn't have any second opinions. But him and his attorney worked out a custody plan for Liz to either drop off their son at his house with his mother home for the exchange or vice versa. So he drops off their son at her house with her mother present. And Liz agreed because it was a lot better than leaving him with a stranger, and she still really encouraged their relationship. She didn't want to stop their son from seeing his dad. So she agreed, and it worked out. I went with her for one of the drop-offs, and one of Joseph's family members went outside. She never even barely left her car. So at least it was more comforting knowing they were still not left alone and that someone had to be there. And that lasted from November into January. So on January 5th, I had gotten a call around 10 or so in the morning, and it was Liz, and she said that her dad had been in an accident, and that he was in the hospital. She said that Joseph refused to watch their son so that she could be in the hospital with her dad, and that she really needed my help. So she dropped off their son with me, and I watched him for most of the day. I had a great day with him and my daughter. They played all day. Around 4 p.m. she got back, and she actually watched my daughter then for the rest of the night. When I got off work, I went downstairs. The kids were asleep, and we talked until 2 in the morning about how obsessive Joseph was and how she just wishes that she could have a normal co-parenting relationship with him, because he was constantly blowing up her phone, constantly begging for her back, like not even asking about Jay. And whenever he asked about Jay, she was happy. She totally texted him back a picture. It wasn't about that. It was about getting her back. And she also mentioned that he just has issues that she cannot fix. No one can fix. It's just something that's in him. Like, he needs to go to a mental hospital. And it was just how messed up he was and how out of control he was. She had spent the night January 5th. We stayed up till 2 in the morning into January 6th. And on January 6th morning, I got a text from her pretty much telling me to wake up. Her knocking on my bedroom door, telling me to wake up. It was about 8:45 in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock by then. And I got up, and the kids started playing. Me and her brushed our teeth, and we washed our face, just started getting ready for the day. And then we started picking up toys, and we had plans to maybe go get some coffee. She was going to go visit her dad at the hospital. We were going to go get groceries because she's been staying at my house, and I wanted her to stay another day. So she had a couple of things to run around and do, but we didn't have any set plans when we woke up that morning. It was kind of just errands. Maybe around 9:30, Joseph called Liz, and I was sitting right next to her. She picked up her phone. She said hello, polite as always, and he was starting to yell at her so loud that without her phone on speaker, I could hear it almost clearly, saying that she needed to drop off their son and that she was late. And I saw the confusion come across her face, and she just said, "Oh, I didn't realize I was taking him, but it's okay. I'll bring him over right now. I'm at Victoria, so I'm like 6 minutes away." That's what she said. So that's what our plans turned into. I said, "Okay, I'm going with," and we both started to get ready. And my daughter's dad was home, so I was going to bring my daughter down to him, and I was just going to go with her to a quick run. And as we were walking down the stairs, I sat down to get my shoes on, and my daughter started crying, could not get her to stop crying, because I had forgotten that when I first woke up, I said, "Oh, I can make us pancakes." And my daughter, who was 2 at the time, she really clung to those words. So she was very upset that mommy was leaving. And then Liz was just like, "Okay, it's fine. I'll be right back. I'm just going to run down the road. Do you want me to get coffee?" She said all this. She said, "Do you want me to get coffee?" And I said, "No, don't spend your money on me." She's like, "Well, I'm your best friend and I love you, so I'm going to spend my money on you." Something silly like that. And I asked her if she was sure, probably 3 times. And she said, "Yeah, no, I'll be right back," because she's done this at least a dozen times before, just a quick drop off. She'd be right back because he only lived a couple miles down the road from me. She got her shoes on. I watched her get her jacket on, and I said bye to her and her son, and I started cleaning and cooking and just waiting for her to get back. It was only 6 minutes down the road, so I was really expecting her back minimum 15 minutes, but within the 20 minutes. It shouldn't have been that long. And so around 10:40 a.m., I got a text and it said, "I'll be back in a bit," or something along those lines. It was from her phone. And the thing I noticed right away, okay, she didn't do any silly emojis or like, "Hey girl," like something sassy. It was just so straightforward. "I'll be back in bit." But it wasn't enough for me to even really think about, other than, okay, she'll be back. And I put my phone down. And to this day, I don't know if that was her. So when I was just cleaning and cooking and all that, around 11 a.m., I got a serious headache. Like, seriously it felt like someone hit me in the head with a hammer. And I even verbally complained about it to my boyfriend, and I said, I just got the worst headache. Maybe the coffee that she brings back will help, but man, like, it really hurt. And I had no idea that I just like physically felt my best friend die in that moment. That's the only thing that would make sense. Within the hour of her not being back, I was texting her saying, "Hey, where are you?" Calling her because, one, it doesn't take that long. And then two, I was worried because we had never gone even that long, an hour, without hearing from each other, without a reason why. So after 2-3 hours, that's when I was really worried. When it started getting into the afternoon, I thought maybe something happened in her dad's surgery. Maybe something went wrong. Never did I think that, what happened. So at that point, I didn't know much of her family. I didn't have anyone's phone numbers or contact information. I reached out to her mom on Facebook and I said, "Hey, have you heard from Liz?" That was around 3:30, 4 o'clock p.m. That was when I was worried. Like, I was pacing. Her mom didn't actually use Facebook, so she didn't see my message for a little while until she actually reached out to me, and we ended up on the phone with each other. And I just think both of us knew, like, right away, something was not okay. I, at the time, did not have a car. We could not just go around looking for her. We were kind of just stuck. Me and my boyfriend, we were both very worried. He was looking out the window with a peephole the entire rest of the day, just waiting for her to pull up, just waiting. Okay, maybe she left her phone somewhere. Okay, maybe this, maybe that. Just the last thing that you could imagine. You just didn't want to. You didn't want to get to that worst case scenario. Well, her mom drove out to Joseph's house, and she went up over the hill and she saw police tape and 10 police cars parked outside. The street was blocked off. I had been calling her mom maybe a couple times because it's been a while since I heard from her, and that's not good. So I called her mom one more time around 6 p.m. on January 6, 2018. And I had to hear the worst cry come from a mother. She told me, "He killed her." That's all she could yell into the phone. "He killed her, he killed her." And I screamed at her, like, yelling, "No," like, "You're lying." Next thought is, "Where's her son? Is he okay?" And then she said yes. From that point on, like, just nothing I knew. Like, I don't know if whoever's listening has lost someone, but I just remember crawling. I couldn't even, like, what do? You're so helpless in that moment. You just, like, oh, gosh. I just was like crawling around my house, like gagging, like screaming. And my poor boyfriend's just like holding me. He didn't cry right away, but he was just holding me, trying to comfort me, and just in shock himself. You know, she was just there. She was just there sleeping in our house, pretty much making her own room and, you know, just being there every day almost, it felt like. And then she was just gone. No one prepares you for that. Going off of what I just told you, in the trial, January 5th, when Liz had called me saying that she needed me to babysit, the reason why was because Joseph was at Home Depot after blowing up her phone, asking her to come back to him, begging for her to come back to him, her saying no, saying you need to stop, not answering. He went to Home Depot and he bought 2 rolls of duct tape. He's on video, there's receipts. So that's the reason why. He was planning this. It was premeditated. He couldn't watch his son because he was planning on doing whatever he was planning to do. That entire night, he was looking up things like fake ID generator, how to not get child support. He withdrawed like $2,000 from his bank account and had it in cash sitting in his wallet. He was looking up Bible verses of forgiveness and looking up how to make a girl forgive you. Things like that on his Google search the night of January 5th when she was sitting on my bed, 2 o'clock, going into 2 o'clock in the morning, telling me how obsessive he was. He was searching all of these things and sending them to her. He would tell her, we saw all of their texts. I didn't see their text when I was sitting next to her because it was the same old, same old. But to see the text and hear the text read out loud during the trial, he was obsessive. He was crazy. He was being manipulative even to that day, saying that she pretty much needed to forgive him because that's what God says. And in the trial, I watched this monster give no emotion while looking over 300 pieces of evidence, photo evidence from the crime scenes on the big screen for everyone to see. No emotion. He showed no emotion. He looked right at those pictures of her that he did to her. No emotion. But when those texts were read out loud of him begging for her, oh, those are when the tears started coming down his face because he only cares about himself. He only cares about his emotions. And, you know, in his head, what his defense fought against so hard that we all see is that in his head, if he could not have Liz, nobody could. And that's why he did the ultimate act and took her life, because she decided she did not want to be with him. Something you should know about Joseph is I've talked to him about these fights. I've messaged him. I've tried to talk to him about keeping his hints to himself. And I've talked to both of them at the same time about it. I've let him hold my daughter, come into my house, drive us places. You know, for most of the time, whenever she would be over, he would come over too. But the thing is, he was just there. He was not involved. He would not get on the ground and play with the kids and giggle. He would pose for a picture and smile, sure. But he was never just there to be there. He was there to be a bodyguard and a shadow over her. And whenever he said, I want to go, it was time to go. It was like that for years. And Liz, if you knew her, she like glowed. She was so bubbly, and he was the only person that could bring her down and make her not be herself. And he really destroyed her for the best parts of her years. She didn't get to enjoy motherhood as much as she should have been able to, because she was dealing with him and the issues he brought into their life, when all she wanted to do is just have a family and be the best mom she could. So also in the trial, he spoke. It was bullshit. I don't want to get into too many details, but it's hard to find a boundary after you have sat through this entire trial, listening to all the details. And oh my, to see the day after the biggest loss of your life, to see the news reports saying Casey woman stripped and bound with duct tape with a gunshot wound to the head, taller nearby, first thing in the morning, the day after. Click on Facebook and you see that. It's really hard to know what's wrong and what's right to say about this, because it was all put out there from the very start. So the trial was long. It was miserable, gut-wrenching. I had to sit 5 to 10 feet away from this monster. Can't touch him. Can't look at him the wrong way or you're asked to leave the room. So hard not to burst out yelling when the horrible accusations are said by the defense team. Things that don't make sense, that are just a flat out lie. It's really hard. With the jury's decision, it made it even harder. I left the courtroom that day just speechless, and I felt defeated, and I felt like justice still had not been served, and that he was getting away with yet another thing, just like the domestic case back in November. I felt like another thing he was getting away with. The jury decided on voluntary manslaughter for premeditating, bounding, and shooting my best friend in the head. It was voluntary manslaughter. That's 15 years max, which they ended up giving him 15 years. But out of first degree murder, second degree murder, that's up to life, they chose manslaughter. Okay? Then they chose 7 years for armed criminal action, 25 years for armed criminal action again, and 7 years, which is the max sentence for child endangerment. 54 years for doing all the damage that he did to her, his son, his family, her friends, the community, the city, every person that had to work in this case. The jury that sat for 9 days gave this pointless sentence. Just disrespectful, in my opinion. And I told them I did not agree with it. And my final little impact statement, I told them I was not happy and I did not believe justice was served. The judge decides if the terms are served consecutively or concurrently. So we came back about 4 to 6 weeks later, I don't remember. And after hearing again the closing statements from both sides, the judge made her decision, and she chose consecutively, which is, thank God, which means that she had the choice to serve 25 plus 15 plus 7 plus 7, equaling 54 years, not including if he gets on parole, or she had the chance to do it pretty much within the 25 years, not including the chance of parole. So serving all the terms together at once or serving them back to back. She chose back to back. And she cried, apologizing to Liz's family. It just really showed a lot of emotion, and I think she knows that justice was not served with that jury and that it was very unfair. She sat through all of it just as much, and she couldn't say anything. And I really appreciate that she gave us a something. That's how the trial went. That's how it pretty much played out. The thing is, Liz was ready to be single. She was so done with that relationship. She just wanted her son to have his dad. And he took advantage of that. And he took her life because she did not want to spend hers with him any longer. She didn't want to be manipulated and assaulted and abused mentally and verbally and physically. She did not want that anymore. She finally figured out how much she was worth. I was so proud of her. Everyone was so proud of her for leaving because she finally saw what we all saw. And she knew that she did not deserve that. At the time, her being 19, me being 20, us not knowing the outcomes of these situations, the worst case scenarios, we didn't know that it's most dangerous when a victim leaves their abusers. It was the most dangerous time, the scariest time, the time that someone needs to be most protected. And that's just the message I wanted to bring, is domestic violence awareness, and just keep an eye on your family and your friends. And I'm still not the best spokesperson for this. I really still don't know all of my stuff. But there are resources, there are places that want to help you. You can get out before it's too late, and you can stay safe. One of Liz's last posts to social media, 2 days before her life was taken from her, she posted this on Instagram. I'll read it out loud to you. I didn't really want to talk about my situation on social media at all, but raising awareness to domestic violence is so important. After almost 3.5 years, I finally left, and not necessarily by choice, but because it got so bad. Please don't stay with someone who is hurting you physically or emotionally. I've lost so much of myself through the years, and trying to find myself again is already proving itself to be so hard and emotionally draining. I am enough and never deserve to be treated any less, and no one does. Please don't stay, because it only gets worse. I also wanted to let you guys know of a raffle that Liz's family has put together. All the money for the raffle tickets goes towards Liz's son and also a local women's shelter. It is $25 per entry, and the prize is 2 Southwest airline tickets anywhere in the US, but not including Hawaii, a large duffel bag, and a $400 gift certificate to Marriott Hotel. Seriously, guys, in my opinion, this is a win-win. You're not just giving your money away, you're giving food to a little boy. You're keeping a roof over his head. You're paying for his school tuition, anything he needs. And then also you have a great chance to win this prize. It's such a blessing that we are able to have these kind of raffles and events in Liz's memory. And it also is a chance to bring domestic violence awareness. So I will have that linked below, along with the GoFundMe for Liz's son, and also some resources for leaving abusive relationships and a crisis hotline, things like that. That will all be in the description below. So I really appreciate you guys if you made it to the end of the video. And just know, like Liz said herself, you are enough. You are enough. And like Liz's mom says, love doesn't hurt. Thank you.
Hi guys. Oh my god. Hi, baby. Stop, Victoria.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. What about this one?
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells rock. You bitch. We're so ugly. Ooh.
Oh, this would be nice.
That's your style. We can act like we're actually like cool.
Like we're at a
Like in my
party?
stupid ass. Oh my signature dance move. It's a good one on you. Oh,
Hey, baby.
Can you go back? Oh
Hey,
my
baby.
god, please take it off.
Open our mouth.
Oh, that's cool. Should we do that?
No.
No.
Oh, maybe I should. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, because no, what'd you do?
This one.
I feel like a grandma. We don't know how Facebook works or anything. Well, if we did a YouTube channel, this is what it would be like. Hi guys, it's Liz Richards and that's Victoria Wukoviak.
How do you take it?
That's Waka Waka.
That'd be dope.
Hi guys, it's Liz Richards and this is Waka Waka.
Oh.
Oh, don't do that. Why would you do that? Hi guys, it's
Church and a waka waka.
It's Fabulous EXO and Waka Waka. You know, if I have a YouTube channel, that's what I'm naming it.
Fabulous EXO.
Fabulous EXO.
Like
And Waka
fab.
Waka Waka Waka.
And waka 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 waka. Hey guys, it's Vic.
Hi guys, it's Fabulous EXO. Doesn't that sound good? Hi guys, it's Liz. It's Liz.
Sure.
You know, I sound like a man.
Me too.
It's okay, that's how we're friends.
Because we sound like men.
Yeah.
No.
My life anyway.
Oh, that gave like a nice
How did you
fog.
do that? A nice fog, wow.
But, okay, I'll take a picture by myself.
Oh.
Ew. It gets so dark. Oh,
Why do you do this?
One, two. I don't know why. It's not even Christmas. We're so stupid. You're not stupid. I'm stupid.
Oh, we're both stupid. Let's just screenshot it. Hi, it's Fabulous EXO.
I thought we
here.
were taking pictures.
Oh my gosh. This is hard.
We should have taken Christmas pictures.
I can't. I suck at this. I just want friends. Like, why do I not have friends? Do you think if I went live on Instagram that I would have friends? Did we already go over this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay.
Hi guys, it's Vic.
Hi guys, it's the Big Biggie Walk.
Hi guys, it's Vic.
No, they see the real you. I'm crying.
That was the weirdest.
Okay.
I look like a true Santa Claus.
Facebook.
Oh.
Oh, 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 oh.
That sounds kind of like cool, you know?
Ew. If you leave me, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. This is no longer Victoria's, it is mine. Just me. Just me here. just doing this by myself. It's just us. The gang's all here.